So, Nick, should the Bucs give Tom Brady an extension this offseason?
Wow.
Well, I think the news here is the difference in the way Jason Light is discussing Tom Brady's future and the way Tom Brady's previous GM would discuss his future, which is not really discuss it at all, and then behind the scenes clearly not show a lot of faith that it was going to be a bright future. Brandon always pokes fun at me for wanting to be a GM, but he's right. And on the GM side of things, the reason pragmatically you would give Brady an extension is his cap hit this upcoming season is a shade over $28 million. There's a bunch of guys, as Brandon has laid out, Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Godwin, guys you want to bring back. You could cut that cap figure down and by extending Brady and spreading some of the money out. And maybe Brady takes a bit of a discount because he's made so much money already. I don't know what he would want to do salary-wise. But, Brandon, to me, it's more than just the pragmatic, does this allow us to bring back another player? It's also the messaging to Tom, we're all in with you. We showed you we were all in this offseason. You rewarded us. We're going to keep that going. You've said your goal is to play till you're 45. We're saying, why not 46? As opposed to it's like when your ex is one way and your new fling is like, well, I'm going to be totally different. I'm going to, she always doubted you. I'm going to show you all the faith in the world. And so when Bill Belichick didn't want to entrust Brady for age 43, you now have the Bucs saying, we want to entrust you past age 45. Which I think shows how well, obviously, as the defending champions, this relationship is going.
Well, okay, so my initial thoughts, Nick, kind of goes against my takes all year on Tom Brady. It's, you let Tom Brady will himself out of Foxborough. Tom Brady, a veteran quarterback, you don't pay him to come in and throw for 300 yards. Is that what he does Monday through Friday. So what I'm about to say kind of goes against it because, when I saw this, I'm like, what are we talking about? He's 43. We're talking about extending him. He already has 1 year. Like, what's the rush? And why is this such a priority when you have so many other things? And then, in between blocks, you're like, oh, well, Brandon, it makes sense because it frees up cap space. And one of the things that I've been thinking about for the last couple weeks is this, is like, bruh, you've made over $260 million, and it's tough. And the reason why I haven't really talked about it a lot, because it's uncomfortable. We should feel uncomfortable as players, former players, counting another man's money, being in another man's pocket, okay? So in my mind, it's like, I know you're crushing it off the field. You made a lot of money on the field. Your wife is crushing it. How much more money do you need? It's a game at this point. If I'm Tom Brady, when I'm doing this, I'm probably taking – a couple million, and I'm like, yo, keep Chris Godwin, keep Gronkowski, keep AB, because I'm probably going to make more money throughout the next 20, 40 years if I can continue to stack these wins, these Super Bowls. Now, would anybody ever catch him 7 rings? Probably not. Nick, you're going to find a way to talk about Patrick Mahomes and, he can still catch him and this whole GOAT debate. That's over. That's closed. But that's the thing that I think about is, Tom Brady giving this team an opportunity to keep these guys. So I think it's a good decision, and it's an interesting one. But if they're thinking about him to 46, I think they're tripping a little bit, man.
Well, here's the thing. You can always cut a guy at the end, and now that hurts your salary cap for those years moving forward. But I think the Buccaneers understand that this is now, and Cowherd talked about this the other day, and he's absolutely right. This is a win-now league. This is a league where long-term planning, like to go to the NBA, we were talking earlier with Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge has had a 20-year plan forever. He just keeps neglecting this year.
Smart guy.
And that's how the Celtics end up sub 500. Like, long-term planning in the NFL right now is overrated. What is underrated, or is now becoming properly rated, is trying to win right now. So let's say right now the Bucs have a clean cap sheet in regards to Brady after this upcoming season. Let's say they muddy it up, and let's say that all of a sudden now in 2022 he's owed a lot of money the way Big Ben is for this upcoming year. Maybe that screws you in 2022, and maybe Brady's not there in 2022, and you're like, that stinks. But if it allows you to keep 5 of those guys on the screen that we just showed instead of only 3 of them, if it installs you as the favorites to repeat in the NFC or to repeat overall, then it's worth it. So, like, I would rather be in a slightly disadvantageous cap situation in a couple of years if it allows me to hold on to Shaq Barrett this year when I'm the defending Super Bowl champion, Brandon.
Okay, can we put that screen back up with the notable free agents? You got Shaq Barrett, Antonio Brown, Levante David, Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, and you got Sue. So resident GM, how do you prioritize this? Who would you take? I know who I would take, but I want to hear your thoughts on who's your number 1, number 2 priority going in this offseason.
So my top 2 are the 2 defensive guys on the top level. Shaq Barrett, who's going to be expensive. You just franchise tagged him. So franchising him again would be $19 million. Probably got to sign him to a long-term deal. And Levante David. Those are my top 2 guys. The guy I am most easily letting leave is Chris Godwin. Because I think he's going to be very expensive, and you already have Mike Evans. Scotty Miller is basically free. There was I forget the kid's name, but the kid that made the incredible 3rd down catch against the Packers. Feel like he only had 9 catches all year. I think his last name was Jefferson. I might be having his name wrong. You have him. Gronk, I think, is going to play for almost nothing. But Gronk's going to play for almost nothing.
I agree with you there.
And running back to me, you have Ronald Jones, so Fournette is just... I don't need Godwin back. I don't have to have
Depends
Fournette
on the
back.
price.
I definitely need Barrett and David back. Barrett and David are my top 2 priorities without question, Brandon.
Yeah. Fournette, if you get him for the right price, you bring him back because, playoff time, he was stepping into his own. 2 interesting guys right here. Why I think their priorities, and they will be cheap, is Gronk and Sue. Gronk and Sue, the reason why they're important is because Sue is that glue to that defense. Now, statistically, he's not as dominant as the other guys, but he's the one to keep them together. And then when you look at Gronkowski, you always need that guy that's going to break up the monotony throughout a long week and a long NFL season. So I like their chances of what you said of bringing back 5 guys instead of 3 with this extension with Brady if they can get it done.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.